Good morning, young minds. Welcome back to biology session. In previous session, we have discussed developmental stages of dicot embryo. What are the stages? Different shapes of embryo, such as globular-shaped embryo, heart-shaped embryo, and mature embryo. That all stages of developmental stages of dicot embryo. The topic was completed. Today, topic continuation. LS of embryo of grass. LS of embryo of grasses. It's a very important concept. LS of, what is LS? LS means longitudinal section. Longitudinal section, that means vertical section. Select any grass plant like rice, maize, jowar, bajra, oats, finger millets, any grass plant. Select embryo and make vertical plane, longitudinal section on embryo. Then you can observe internal structure of embryo. Once you go through a diagrammatic representation, LS of embryo, scutellum, diagram was important. Embryo, embryonal axis, epiblast, shoot apex, coleoptile, coleorhiza, root cap, radical, shoot apex also called plumule. Suppose it is plumule. Plumule is future shoot and radical is future root, etc. Right? Okay. LS of embryo of grass. Grass means monogot plant. Once have a glance what are the parts in diagrammatic representation. Start from here. Coleoptile, scutellum. scutellum equals to cotyledon. 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 The part of scutellum represent cotyledon. Number of cotyledons are only one in monocot embryo. Hence it is called monocot seed. Okay, because monocot embryo later develop into monocot seed. It is the undeveloped scutellum. Undeveloped or immature scutellum is termed as epiblast. Important. Right? Next, coleoptile. Coleoptile, shoot apex, plumule. Plumule is future shoot. Both plumule and shoot apex envelop with thick outer envelope, that is called coleoptile. Just now I told epiblast means immatured scutellum is called epiblast. Embryonal axis. Embryonal axis. Embryonal axis bear two parts, plumule and radicle. Plumule and radicle. Plumule is future shoot, while radicle is future root. It is radicle. Radicle on the outer side covered with the root cap. Root cap. Root cap protects root tip, because when the tip of the root grow into deeper layers of soil between soil particles, the tip of the root may be damaged because at the temperature and pressure. Therefore, root cap protects root tip from earth temperature and pressure. Next, outermost layer is called coleorhiza. You don't confuse between coleorhiza and coleoptile. Coleorhiza envelope radicle, that means root part, and coleoptile enclose shoot part, stem part. That's all. Right? Scutellum equals to cotyledon. Embryo after germination, seed germination, the part of embryo develop into plumule and radicle. The part of radicle grow into deeper layers of soil between soil particles. Hence radicle is future root, while plumule emerge above soil, grow towards aerial, towards sunlight. It is future shoot. That's all. Once all of you practice diagrammatic representation and read paragraph lines. I am expecting at least one question from LS of embryo of monocot. Okay, means grasses. Understood? Next. Seed. Next topic, seed. Seed character. Seed is a product of fertilization. What is fertilization? Fusion of male and female gametes is called fertilization. Fertilization results in zygote. Zygote develop into embryo. Embryo becomes seed. Hence, seed is a product of fertilization. Seed are of two kinds. Endospermic seeds, endospermic also called albuminous seed, non-endospermic seed. Second type, non-endospermic seed, also called exalbuminous seed. Exalbuminous seed. Based on the presence or absence of endosperm in a seed, seeds broadly are of two kinds: endospermic seed, non-endospermic seeds. Endospermic seeds also termed as albuminous seeds, while non-endospermic seeds otherwise called exalbuminous seeds. Okay, some examples of endospermic seeds: monocot seeds. Monocot seeds. And examples of non-endospermic seeds, majority of dicot seeds. Majority of dicot seeds like pea, red gram, green gram, and many other dicot seeds, bean, etc. Monocot seeds example, maize, jowar, bajra, paddy, etc. Right? Endosperm. You know well, endosperm is nutrient tissue, nutrient layer. It nourishes embryo. After development of seed, embryo consume endosperm. Such seeds are called non-endospermic seeds because already the total endosperm consumed, utilized by embryo. Now where is endosperm? No endosperm in a seed. Such seeds are called non-endospermic seeds or exogenous seeds. The best example, dicot seeds. Majority of dicot seeds such as pea, red gram, green gram, black gram, horse gram, Bengal gram, bean, and many other dicot seeds. Next, endospermic seeds means after development of seed, a small amount of endosperm remain attached with the seed, remain present inside the seed. Such seeds are called endospermic seeds or albuminous seeds. Best example, monocot seeds like paddy, jowar, bajra, maize, oats, finger millets, and a few dicot seeds such as sunflower and castor. Sunflower and castor also endospermic seeds. Understood now? A seed with endosperm called endospermic seeds. Seed without endosperm called non-endospermic seeds or exogenous seeds. We are expecting at least one question from this area based on examples, particularly examples, right? Next, seed offer several advantages. Seed offers several advantages. Important. The first advantage, pollination and fertilization. Never depend on water. Never depend on water. That means what? Pollination process, fertilization process. These two are steps in reproduction, sexual reproduction. These two steps never depend on water, independent of water. But seed formation is dependable. Seed formation is dependable. That is first advantage. And second advantage, seed adapted different structure for transfer, seed transfer. Structures for seed transfer. See, seed consists of various types of structures for seed transfer from one place to another through air current or water current or any other agents with biotic factors or abiotic factors. Anyway, seed transfer from one place to another, thereby seed enables to colonize new species in new area. It enables colonization of new species in new area. That is another advantage of seed. The best example, some seeds may have thorns, spines, or hook-like structure, etc. With the help of these structures, seed attached with animal's fur or bird feathers, through birds or through animals like goat, sheep, cattle, any other cattle, seeds migrate, transfer one place to another, and unexpectedly fall on the soil. When the conditions are favorable, germinate. In such a way, seed enables colonization of new species in new area. That is another advantage. Next, seed is the basic part of agriculture. Agriculture means cultivation of plants, cultivation of crops. Farmers purchase various types of seeds from seed centers, seed banks or seed centers, and during rainy season or particular season in a year, so they perform sowing seeds. What is sowing? A process of placing of seed inside the soil and cover with soil is called sowing. That is the first and initial step for agriculture. After a week of days or 10 days, seed bulge and germinate. That is called seed germination, seedling. Sprouting, seed sprouting. Seed sprouting result in seedling. Seedling develop into young plant. Young plant mature into mature plant. Then flowering stage, fruiting stage, harvesting stage. This total step is called agriculture. So seed is the basic unit for agriculture. Clear? Next, seed coat. In some seeds, seed coat is very hard and tough in nature. Seed coat protects seeds in all directions. Right? Seed coat consists of two layers. Outer layer, inner layer. Outer layer is testa, inner layer is tegmen. Hence, seed coat protects seed and embryo from surrounding adverse conditions. When the conditions are favorable, seed absorb water, means moisture and oxygen, thereby it bulge in size, that result in germination, seed germination. Clear? Hence, seed coat protects seed and embryo from all adverse conditions. Seed dormancy. What is dormancy? Resting stage of the seed is called dormancy, seed dormancy. During resting stage, around 80 to 85% water deleted from seed, means water level gradually decrease in seed. Metabolic activities decrease, enzyme actions, hormone actions become decrease, thereby seed take rest up to some time extent. That period is known as seed dormancy period. Seed dormancy period again vary from species to species. In some plants, seed dormancy period lasts for few months. In some plants, few years. In some plants, some trees, hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. So seed dormancy period vary from species to species. Well known example, Lupinus articus. Lupinus articus. Common name lupin. Common name lupin, scientific name Lupinus articus. One more example, date palm. Date palm scientific name Phoenix dactylifera. Phoenix dactylifera. Common name date palm. Common name date palm. Scientific name Phoenix dactylifera. Lupinus articus, usually archaeologists. Archaeologist means scientists or a person who make digging in deeper layers of soil and identify different things in different layers of soil. That is called, they are called archaeologists. Usually archaeologists digging soil in different areas. Unexpectedly in some areas they found seeds of lupin. Seeds of lupin. They collected seeds and took to labs, and they estimated what is the seed dormance period of Lupinus articus, and they found the seed dormance period in Lupinus articus nearly 10,000 years. 10,000 years. Okay. Lupinus articus mostly grow in Arctic tundra. Hence, when archaeologists perform digging, that means excavation, due to excavation they collected Lupinus plant seeds and estimated its seed dormancy period approximately about 10,000 years. According to recent information, recent researches, scientists also found another seed dormancy period. Example, Phoenix dactylifera. Phoenix dactylifera, common name date palm, a type of desert plant, xerophyte. The seed dormance period in Phoenix dactylifera nearly about 2,000 years. 2,000 years. Archaeologists excavated near Herod Palace of Dead Sea, and suddenly and unexpectedly they discovered seeds from deepest layers of soil, and it was Phoenix dactyly, that means date palm seeds, and they estimated the seed dormance period of date palm seed, it was approximately about 2,000 years. Hence, seed dormancy period vary from species to species. In majority of species, it takes few months. In some species, few years. In some species, hundreds of years. Understood now? During seed dormancy, seed minimize its metabolic activities. Loss of water. Due to loss of water, seed become dry. Of course, just 10 to 15% of water remain present in the seed. Enzyme actions inactive, hormones action inactive. Therefore, seed simply take rest up to some time extent. When returns of favorable conditions, seed become active, absorb moisture and oxygen, temperature, become sprout. That is called seed sprouting or seed germination. Understood now? In such a way, seed provide several advantages. Seed offers several advantages for angiosperms, particularly for angiosperms. Very important. Sometimes question paper setter maybe prepare questions based on what are the advantages of seed. Understood now? Dry topic, general topic, try to understand and read the same topic in NCERT. Remember two examples: Lupinus articus, common name lupin; Phoenix dactylifera, common name date palm, and their seed dormancy period. Understood now? Right. In 2019, second PUC board exam, not NEET object exam, in second PUC board exam, 2 more question asked from seed, that means what are the importance of seed. Seed offer several advantages for angiosperms. Explain the statement. 2 more question, important, right? Now, perisperm. What is perisperm? Perisperm means remnants of nucellus is called perisperm. Remnants means rest of the nucellus which is present in the seed is called perisperm. Remnants of nucellus is called perisperm. What is the ploidy of nucellus? 2n, diploid. Obviously, the ploidy of perisperm also same, diploid, 2n. Best examples: black pepper, and one more example, beetroot, etc. Two examples. Perisperm different, endosperm different. You don't confuse. Endosperm. The ploidy of endosperm 3n. In angiosperms, right? In angiosperms. But the ploidy of endosperm haploid in gymnosperms. Sometimes while writing exam, few students might be confused what is perisperm, what is endosperm. Don't confuse. Perisperm means remnants of nucellus. Means after development of seed, small amount of nucellus remain present inside the seed. That is called remnants of nucellus. Best example, black pepper and beetroot. Beet means beetroot. Root modification. Endosperm. In previous video we have discussed what is endosperm. What is the ploidy of endosperm, right? Double fertilization result in endosperm, particularly triple fusion. Triple fusion result in endosperm. The ploidy of endosperm is triploid. Triploid in angiosperms, but haploid in gymnosperms. Reason important. Reason I told previously. But anyway, once I repeat. In all angiosperms, fertilization occurs twice. Hence, that is called double fertilization. Double fertilization is unique characteristic feature of all angiosperms. But in gymnosperms, fertilization occurs only once. Moreover, endosperm formed in gymnosperms before fertilization. That is the reason the ploidy of endosperm is always haploid in gymnosperms. Gymnosperms example: Pinus, Cycas, Natum, Ginkgo, Cedrus. Many examples are there, right? That is about difference between perisperm and endosperm and the ploidy, right? Next, pericarp. What is pericarp? Fruits. Fruits broadly are of two kinds: dry fruits, fleshy fruits. Dry fruit example: groundnut, cashew nut, etc. Fleshy fruits example: mango, coconut, pineapple, guava, apple. Many examples are there. When we discuss about fleshy fruit, outer fruit wall consists of three distinct layers, three separate individual layers called epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp, right? Epicarp mesocarp, endocarp. Epicarp outer layer, mesocarp middle layer, endocarp inner layer. The combination of epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp is called pericarp. Pericarp also called fruit wall. Important. Fruit wall. Understood? This and all technical terms, botanical terms, technical terms, very important. Being a medical student, you must remember technical terms of plants and plant parts. Pericarp means the combination of three distinct layers: epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. Epi, outer layer; meso means middle; endo means inner layer. These three distinct layers together called pericarp. Pericarp commonly called fruit wall. This topic already covered in first year syllabus, morphology of flowering plants. Remember, coconut, green coconut and mango comparison. In green coconut, outermost soft green layer is called epicarp. Middle coir fiber is there, no? That coir is called mesocarp. Endocarp means innermost stony layer. Stony means cup, coconut cup. It is very hard in nature, like stone. So innermost stony layer is called endocarp. But in coconut, all three layers are non-edible, non-eatable. But which is eatable? Which is edible in coconut? Endosperm. Endosperm are of two kinds: liquid endosperm and cellular endosperm. Liquid endosperm means water. That is not true water. Endosperm, liquid endosperm. And cellular endosperm means kernel. Kernel means kobbara, kernel. These two are edible in coconut. And when we think about mango, outermost layer, epicarp, edible. Middle, mesocarp, edible. Mesocarp means pulp, edible, sweet in taste. Innermost layer is called endocarp, means seed coat. Seed coat equals to endocarp, non-edible. Hence in mango, epicarp and mesocarp are edible. Endocarp is non-edible, non-eatable. Difference between mango and coconut. But both are fleshy fruits. But in case of guava, epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp all are eatable, edible. Right? In case of banana, epicarp non-edible, mesocarp and endocarp are edible. Right? In case of orange, outermost juicy layer is called epicarp, non-edible. Middle thin whitish transparent layer is there, na? That layer is called mesocarp. Mesocarp also not edible, but somebody maybe eat. That is different. Most it is non-edible. Innermost fine juicy hair is there, na? That is endocarp. These are the various types of fruits, fleshy fruits, and their distinct layers: epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp, and all. Right? So pericarp also important. Remember all technical terms: pericarp, endosperm, perisperm, differences, examples, important for NEET object exam and KCET exam. Understood now? Next, fruit, types of fruits. Broadly, fruits are of two kinds: true fruits and false fruits. True fruit origin from ovary. False fruit origin from ovary plus other parts. Fruits broadly are of two kinds based on their origin: true fruits and false fruits. True fruit means a fruit which developed from ovary after fertilization, called true fruits. Example: mango, banana, pomegranate, grapes, guava. These are all true fruits. False fruit means fruit which developed from ovary and other than the ovary. Other than the ovary means other parts of the flower, like pedicel or thalamus. Such fruits are called false fruits. Example of false fruits: apple, strawberry, and cashew, etc. 3 examples. Important. In apple and strawberry, edible part is thalamus. In cashew, edible part is pedicel. pedicel. Understood? False fruits means fruit which origin ovary plus other than the ovary, means some other floral parts also play a crucial role in formation of fruit such as thalamus or pedicel. Such fruits are called false fruits. The best example: apple, strawberry and cashew nut. In apple and strawberry, edible part is thalamus, right? See, distinct layers: thalamus. It is true fruit. But we cannot eat true fruit. Center part of the fruit is called true fruit, but we cannot eat true fruit because it is somewhat bitter in taste. True fruit consists of three distinct layers: epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. All three layers are non-edible, not eatable. But outermost layer, which is fleshy, a fleshy part of the apple is called thalamus. It is white in color, bulged, sweet in nature, good for taste. So we can eat only thalamus in apple, right? Even in strawberry also edible part is thalamus. But in case of cashew nut, edible part is pedicel. Pedicel is bulged, juicy and sweet in taste. Understood? Such fruits are called false fruits. We are expecting questions from this area, particularly false fruits. True fruits common, know everybody, and false fruits are indifferent. Definitely question paper setter, there is chance prepare questions from false fruit and their examples, which is edible part in false fruit, etc. Right? Next to parthenocarpic fruits. Parthenocarpic fruits. Partheno means virgin. Carpic means fruit, right? Virgin means without sexual mode of contact is called virgin. Carpic means fruit. Parthenocarpic fruits means a process of production of fruits without fertilization is called parthenocarpy, right? Here what happened, egg cell or other than the egg cell from embryo sac or nucellus undergo a series of free mitotic divisions, differentiate into embryo to fruit without fertilization. Such phenomena is known as parthenocarpic fruits. Parthenocarpy is a type of asexual mode of reproduction. Here, sexual reproduction shifted to asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction shifted to asexual reproduction without involvement of male gamete, only female gamete. Female gamete means egg cell or other than the egg cell like antipodal cells, central cell, synergids or surrounding nucellus cells. These cells undergo a series of free mitotic divisions, 1 to 2 cells, 2 to 4 cells, 4 to 8 cells, like that, and so on, and modify into embryo to directly fruit without fertilization. That is called parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpic fruits example: banana, grapes, papaya, watermelon, tomato, strawberry, etc. These are few examples of parthenocarpic fruits: banana, grapes, papaya, watermelon, tomato and strawberry. But the local varieties of all these fruits contain seeds, one to many seeds, right? These are all parthenocarpic fruits. So parthenocarp is a type of asexual mode of reproduction. Here sexual reproduction shifted to asexual reproduction. That's all. These are the various topics very important for NEET objective exam and other set exams, KSET exams. Then seed viability. Viability means alive. Seed viability. Pollen viability. Previously we have discussed pollen viability. Means lifespan of pollen grain is called pollen viability. Similarly, lifespan of seed is called seed viability. Viability means alive, lifespan, birth rate. That means living period is called viability. Seed viability varies from species to species. In some plants, seed viability lasts for few months. In some plants, seed viability lasts for some years. In some trees or plants, seed viability lasts for hundreds of years. That is called seed viability. Seed viability depends on seed dormancy. Understood? Right. Before we have discussed already what is seed dormancy. Some examples: Lupinus articus and Phoenix dactylifera. Same concept. Right. Apomixis. What is apomixis? Apo means without. Mixis means mixing. Without mixing means what? A process of formation of embryo or seed without fertilization, without fusion of male and female gametes is called apomixis. Male gamete means male character and female gamete means egg cell. Here without fertilization, embryos or seeds produced in large quantity in the laboratory level, that is called apomixis. Even apomixis also a type of parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy belongs to apomixis, right? Egg cell, diploid egg cell convert into embryo, diploid embryo without fertilization. Later embryo develop into seed. The ploidy of seed also same, diploid. In some cases, nucellar cells undergo mitosis division, a series of mitotic divisions to form embryo. Ploidy of nucell means nucellar tissue, ploidy, 2n, diploid. Obviously the ploidy of embryo also remain same, diploid, because mitosis division. Mitosis also called equational division, homotypic division. Chromosome number remain same in parent cell and daughter cells. Understood now? In some plant species, diploid egg cell undergo a series of free mitosis divisions to form diploid embryo without fertilization. Mitosis. Once I repeat, diploid egg cell undergo a series of mitotic divisions to form diploid embryo without fertilization. Later on, diploid embryo differentiate into diploid seed. That is called apomixis. Here, where is fertilization? No fertilization. Where is male gamete? No male gamete. That phenomena is called apomixis. In some plants, nucellar cells. Nucellus. What is nucellus? Nutrient tissue, nutrient layer is called nucellus. Its ploidy to end, diploid. Nucellus envelope embryo sac and nourishes embryo sac. In some plant species, some nucellar cells undergo free mitotic divisions to form diploid embryo. Here, where is fertilization? No fertilization. Where is male gamete? No male gamete. Such phenomena is known as apomixis. Okay. Next, hybrids. Hybrids. The process of production of seeds or plants. Seeds or plants with the different characters, quality characters, useful characters. Such phenomena is called hybrids. Okay. Hybridization, it will depend on cross fertilization and cross pollination. Cross pollination result in cross fertilization. Cross fertilization result in creation of new characters, occurrence of new characters, different characters, desired characters, useful characters in progeny, among progeny. Therefore, hybrids means hybrid plants adapted towards local weather conditions and successfully withstand in all adverse conditions like high salinity conditions. High salinity means high salty conditions, high temperature, water stress conditions, lack of water, and disease conditions like bacterial, viral, fungal disease conditions, etc. But how far years, how long time period hybrids maintain their hybrid vigor? It is impossible, because from generation to generation, hybrid vigor decrease due to segregation. Okay, due to segregation, the quality of hybrids or hybrid vigor step by step from generation to generation decrease. Obviously, at particular time period, the total hybrid characteristic features vanished, disappear. Then how can you overcome this problem? Means when hybrid seeds convert into apomictic seeds. When hybrid seeds convert into apomictic seeds, we can overcome this problem. Understood? It is a type of genetic mechanism, a genetic related mechanism. Understood now? The process of conversion of hybrid seeds into apomictic seeds is a genetic mechanism, laboratory method. Moreover, for the production of hybrid seeds, it is highly expensive. It is again burden to the farmers. For the production of hybrid seeds, it is time taking process, highly expensive process. Moreover, farmers need to pay high expenditure. Therefore, when hybrid seeds convert into apomictic seeds, and we no need to purchase seeds every year. After completion of harvesting of crops, separate seeds, collect seeds, dry it and preserve in gunny bags up to some time extent. When returns of favorable conditions, use the same seeds for sowing. That's better. In such a way, farmers reduce their expenditure. Understood now? That is about apomixis, an artificial method. In apomixis also, asexual reproduction shifted to sexual reproduction shifted to asexual. Clear? Parthenocarpy also a part of apomixis. Understood now? Next, polyembryony. Polyembryony. Apomixis characteristic feature also important for NEET object exam and set exams. Polyembryon, last concept. Poly means many, embryo means embryos. Best example, citrus and mango. Two examples important. In general, each ovary contains 1 to many ovules. Each ovule consists of only one embryo sac. After fertilization, the part of embryo sac differentiate into embryo. After fertilization, because embryo consists of 7 cells and 8 nucleus. 7 cells and 8 nuclei. After fertilization, the part of egg cell develop into zygote modify into embryo. Hence, each ovule contain one embryo sac. Each embryo sac contain one egg cell. After fertilization, the part of egg cell modify into embryo. That is common. But in some plant species such as citrus and mango seeds, nucellar cells, I told just now, nucellus, nutrient tissue, nourishes tissue. Some nucellar cells undergo a series of mitotic divisions to form embryos. How many embryos? 2 to many embryos. 2 to many embryos. Such phenomena is called polyembryony. Hence, number of embryos 2 to many in citrus seeds and mango seeds. Citrus seeds and mango seeds. Main region, nucellus cells. Nucellus cells, ploidy, diploid, undergo mitosis. It undergo mitosis to form embryos, many embryos. The ploidy of embryo, diploid, 2n. Because it is mitosis division, equational division, number of chromosomes remains same. Some nucellus cells, nucellus is outer covering layer of embryo sac. Nucellus cells undergo mitosis to form many embryos. Such phenomena is called polyembryony. It is a common characteristic feature of some plants such as citrus and mango seeds. Understood now? That is about polyembryony. These are the main concepts covered from sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Right? I forgot one small concept, that is kinds of agents of pollination. Agents of pollination. Agents. Agents of pollination. Broadly, agents are of two kinds: abiotic agents, and biotic agents. Right? Abiotic agents are of two kinds: wind and water. Biotic agents are of various kinds: entomophily, by insects, Chiropterophily. Chiropterophily by bats. Ornithophily. Ornithophily by birds. Ophiophily by snakes. Okay, psychophily by butterflies, etc. Wind, anemophily, water, hydrophily, etc. Agents of pollination. In previous video I forgot this concept, that's why I am repeating this concept for you. Important for NEET object exam, don't do neglect. Agents are of two kinds, abiotic agents and biotic agents. Abiotic means non-living things. Best example, wind and water. When you think about gymnosperms, in gymnosperms pollination takes place by wind or water. Reason? Any of you say reason? What is the reason? Where is flower? No flower. Gymnosperms are non-flowering plants. Instead of flower, male strobili, female strobili characters are there. Male strobili equals to male cone or male flower. Female strobili equals to female cone or female flower. But true flowers are absent in gymnosperms. Without flower, without nectar, without aroma, how insects visit flower? Is it possible? Impossible. Hence, in all gymnosperms, the type of pollination is 100% through wind or water, means through abiotic agents. Pollination by wind called anemophily. Anemo means wind, not animal. Anemo means wind, air. Anemophily. Hydrophily, water. Hydro means water, you know very well, right? So, anemophily, best example, grass plants and gymnosperms. In all grasses, means all monocot plants like maize, jowar, paddy, bajra, finger millets, bamboo, sugarcane. In all grass plants, flowers are small in size. Large number of flowers clustered into a group called inflorescence or spadix. Flowers are inconspicuous, colorless, nectarless, aromaless. Aroma means smell, no smell. Due to this reason, no insect visit flower in case of grass plants and gymnosperms. Hence, anemophily, best example, grasses, all grasses. Next, hydrophily, best example, aquatic plants, right? Vallisneria, hydrilla, Eichhornia, water lily, many aquatic plants are there. But in some aquatic plants, pollination takes place by insects or wind, but not by water. Best example, lily, water lily, and water hyacinth. Best examples. 2020 NEET exam question. 2020 last year NEET exam question. Water lily, aquatic plant. Water hyacinth, also aquatic plant. Water hyacinth means Eichhornia, terror of Bengal. Eichhornia or terror of Bengal, you know well. Though these two are aquatic plants living in water, but pollination done by wind or insects, but not by water. How and why? The reason means flowers emerge above water grow towards aerial. Hence, there is no direct contact between water and flower. Due to lack of contact, pollination takes place by wind or insects. It is 2020 final NEET exam question. Understood now? Right. Hydrophily again are of two kinds: epihydrophily, hypohydrophily. Epihydrophily means process of pollination takes place in topmost layer of water. In topmost layer of water, that is called epihydrophily. Epihydrophily, best example, Vallisneria and Hydrilla. Vallisneria and Hydrilla. Vallisneria, a dioecious plant, unisexual plant. Male Vallisneria produce male flower and female Vallisneria produce female flower. Clear? Hence it is a dioecious plant. Plants are unisexual, flowers also unisexual. In previous video I told dioecious plant, monoecious plant, differences with examples. Remember, don't forget. Epihydrophily, the best example, Vallisneria and Hydrilla. Next, hypohydrophily. Hypo means inside water, means mid-water, submerged, mid-water. Best example, Zostera marina. Zostera marina, a marine plant living in salt water like seas and oceans. Plant scientific name Zostera marina. Okay, so pollination, fertilization, fruit formation, everything takes place in water. That is called hypohydrophily. In case of epihydrophily, pollination takes place in topmost layer of water. After that, pollinated flower dipped in water, then fertilization, seed formation, fruit formation, everything takes place in mid-water. The best example, Vallisneria. We are expecting questions from that means hydrophily particularly. Hydrophily, right? Next to biotic factors, biotic agents. Bio means life, living things. Myrmecophily, by ants. Melacophily, by snail, etc. Here I wrote some technical terms. Entomophily. Entomo means insects. Okay, somebody sometimes might be confused. Entomophily, anemophily. Anemo means wind, not animal. Entomo means insects. Entomology, it is a branch of biological science dealing with the study of characteristic features of insects, is called entomology. Entomophily, link is there na? So entomophily means pollination by insects. It is quite common in majority of plants because insects visit flower for nectar and pollen grains. They penetrate their needle or proboscis. Proboscis means needle up to the base of the ovary and collect nectar from the base of the ovary. Thereby, unexpectedly and surprisingly, pollination takes place by insects, called entomophily. Chiropterophily, pollination occurs by bats. Bat, one of the mammals, right? Ornithophily, pollination done by birds. Ornithology is a branch of biological science dealing with the study of characteristic features of birds. Ornithophily, ornithology, link is there na? Right. So ornithophily means pollination occur by birds. Particularly hummingbird. Hummingbird is the smallest bird in entire bird phylum. Understood now? Hence, hummingbird, its main food is only honey, nectar. Ophiophily. Ophio means snakes. Pollination done by snakes is called ophiophily. Snakes are creepers. Okay, they crawl on land. Thereby, unexpected sometimes transfer of pollen takes place from anther to stigma through snakes. That is called ophiophily. Next, psychophily. Letter P is silent. Letter P is silent. Psychophily. Pollination done by butterfly. Particularly, it is a special characteristic feature. The term psychophily belongs to only butterfly, but not other insects. Next, myrmecophily. Pollination by ants is called myrmecophily. Myrmecology, study of ants. Myrmecology, myrmecophily. Link is there now. So ants. Next, malacophily. Pollination done by snail. Snail, one of the mollusca phylum members, living in water, particularly at margin of well, pits, reservoirs, check dams, etc. Even in case of aquatic plants, pollination sometimes unexpectedly done by snail. That is called malacophily. These are various types of biotic agents. Understood now? Right? One important point, tassel. What is tassel? Tassel. Example, mage. Mage cob. Best example, mage cob. Elongated, highly elongated style and stigma is called tassel. Okay? Remember, mage spadix means corn cob. It contains large number of seeds. If you observe, at the tip of the corn cob, it has too many long hair, too many highly elongated hair. Means highly elongated style and stigma is technically termed as tassel. It is special characteristic feature of mage. Mage scientific name Giames. Corn plant, popcorn plant, right? In entire plant kingdom, which plant has the highest style, that means longest style and stigma, means mage. Okay, that is called tassel. These are the main points covered from agents of pollination. I forgot this topic, therefore I remembered now, I taught. The second chapter, whole chapter completed. Sexual reproduction flowering plants, whole topic, whole chapter completed. In next video we will discuss another chapter, reproduction in organisms. Right? All of you watch this video properly, carefully and compulsorily. After completion of watching video, the same topic read in NCERT. Immediately practice assignment. We are sending assignment questions, previous year questions in your respective group. Dear students, all of you watch video properly, then practice objective questions from given assignment. Obviously, you will get the better score in grand test exams, part test exams, obviously final NEET exam. Be active, don't do neglect, delete your laziness and lethargy. It is your life. Hope you understood. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. See you. Prepare well and have a nice day.